Sergio says, would you please explain the meaning of eye to eye in the following phrase? My wife gets me mad. We can't be eye to eye any longer. I would want to correct that and say, my wife made me mad. We don't see eye to eye. Instead of gets me mad, she made me mad, or she's mad at me. If she made me mad, that means I'm mad at her, right? If she's mad at me, that means she's angry, and I'm maybe to blame for that. Eye to eye is a very useful expression, but we'll say something like, we see eye to eye, or we don't see eye to eye, instead of be eye to eye. We don't usually use can't be eye to eye. We usually say we don't see eye to eye on this. But it's not usually used in a general sense unless you say something like, we don't see eye to eye on most issues, or we see eye to eye on almost everything. We don't usually say we see eye to eye in general, and that means everything. No. Usually eye to eye, basically is used to talk about an individual issue on which we agree, we have the same view, the same perspective, or disagree. And we'll use it collectively to talk about many different things. That's why I use most things. We see eye to eye on most things. We don't see eye to eye on anything. So it's just a different focus, and it's hard to use that for a broad thing. It's hard to use that for a very general statement of just eye to eye. Okay, so how do we use this in a real situation? Well, let's say that you have a best friend, and your best friend and you like a lot of the same things. But when it comes to politics, political stuff, you have very different views, very different opinions. So you might say something like, my friend and I see eye to eye on almost everything, from music to movies to books. But when it comes to politics, our political views, we almost never see eye to eye. We generally don't see eye to eye. We don't really see eye to eye when it comes to politics. We don't see eye to eye on politics most of the time. Or you could be very specific and say the issue. Look, I know we usually agree on things, but this issue of how the police should be organized in a city, I just don't think we see eye to eye. You think, I think, we don't see eye to eye. Or, after a long conversation, oh, you think this? You think the police should be organized in this way in the city? I feel the same way. Oh, that's nice. I'm glad to know that we see eye to eye on this issue. But it's not only for debates and discussions like that. It can be on worldview as well. Say a husband and a wife with children. Luckily, we see eye to eye on how to raise children. Or when it comes to raising children, we see eye to eye. We see eye to eye on almost everything related to raising children. Or when it comes to teaching our daughter, we see eye to eye. That means maybe our view of her education, the way that we plan to have her be educated. We see eye to eye. That is how we use this, okay? You usually use it for individuals. We don't as often use it for whole groups of people. The whole group sees eye to eye. It's a little weird. It's more focused on two people usually agreeing on something or not agreeing. If it's used specifically, that's very common. If it's used generally, that's okay, but make sure you reference the fact that it's many things rather than just saying, we see eye to eye in general. Not so much. We see eye to eye on lots of different things. Or when it comes to films, we usually see eye to eye. We like a lot of the same films. That's the idea. So hopefully that's clear. Sergio, I hope I answered your question. If you have any other follow-up questions on that, let me know in the comments. Don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe and also check out the full courses in the links in the description.